We have reached the 1 week mark of the 2022-23 NHL season, and there are already a lot of interesting storylines. We have Johnny Gaudreau fitting into Columbus, and of course, Alex Ovechkin's continued chase to Wayne Gretzky's goal record, and much more. Welcome back to another edition of Penn State Sports Night. I'm Jacob Cheris, and alongside me is Josh Bartosik and Tim Rogers. So guys, even though we're only 3-4 games into the season, there's still some things to talk about. So Tim, I'm going to start with you. What is one team that has really exceeded expectations 3 games into the season?
You know, there's actually a lot to choose from here. I mean, Boston, with their injuries, is looking like a team that is surprising people. Detroit's undefeated. Vegas. But you guys know the phrase, when in Rome, right? So what about when in Pennsylvania? And I'm going to bring it here to the Pittsburgh Penguins. With everything that they had happen in the offseason, re-signing Malkin and re-signing Letang, I thought this was it. I was like, they're finally getting old. It's over for them. I was wrong. I was completely wrong, at least so far. At the time that we are recording this, they are 2-0, 12 goals for and only 4 against. Tristan Jarry playing pretty solid right now. He's averaging around 2 goals against right now and a .938 save percentage. That's very solid for him, but again, I got to mention the big 3, in Letang, Malkin, and Crosby. Letang right now looks great. I thought he was going to fall off with that big contract extension that he did get this offseason. 3 points right now in 2 games. Very solid. Malkin, 2 points in 2 games. And on the day that we are recording this, he does have 2 goals right now in the game that's going on. But you guys know the Elton John song, I'm Still Standing? That's how Sidney Crosby feels to me right now. He's still standing better than he ever did. Sid the Kid, if you will, right now. He's got 6 points right now, and he looks like an MVP favorite right now.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you stuck in Pennsylvania. I'm also going to stick in Pennsylvania. The Philadelphia Flyers, this could actually be the worst case scenario for them starting off 2-0 if they want to win the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. But John Tortorella has instilled new life in this team. Travis Konechny has 3 goals already on the season. Noted locker room leader Tony DeAngelo is second on the team in points right now. Carter Hart looks like his old self. He's got a 2 goals against average and a .940 save percentage. And we all thought he was done after last year and the year before that. He had the one really good year in the bubble, and we were like, okay, this is it. And then he kind of fell off, and now he looks like he's coming back. Gritty is looking absolutely terrifying behind me. I'd be terrified if I want to play these Philadelphia Flyers right now. They look incredible. Granted, it's still very early. I don't think they can keep it up. But again, starting off 2-0 for a team that a lot of people thought would win maybe 20 games is very impressive.
Yeah, I agree with you guys both. And with Pittsburgh, I'm surprised you didn't even mention Jake Gensel. He's been phenomenal. Brian Rust. Sidney Crosby looks like a completely different player at his age. He's skating so well. He's still one of the greatest players in the league. And the Flyers, like you said, I don't think it's going to last long, but John Tortorella was a great hire. They're going to be harder to play against, but they're not going to be this good for this long. Now, for every good team, there's always that team that is not living up to their expectations or just being disappointed. So, Josh, I'm going to start with you first. What's one team that hasn't really played to its potential yet this early into the season?
Well, I talked about this team in our NHL playoff segment last year, and I got a lot of criticism for it because they ended up not doing anything. And that was Minnesota. They're not doing it again. The state of hockey is in a state of despair right now. I don't know what's going on. They look terrible. They've given up 7 goals in both their 2 games they're playing. They're losing right now to the Avalanche at the time of recording this. Marc-Andre Fleury looks like he doesn't know how to play hockey anymore. He's got an .843 goals against average and a below .800 save percentage. For a dude that won the Vezina not even 3 years ago, that is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. You don't see that kind of fall off so fast, especially when he played really well after going to Minnesota last season. The only upside right now for the Wild is that, yes, they lost Kevin Fiala last year, but Matt Boldy has looked very solid already. He looks like the perfect replacement. If anything else, they have their star winger to go with Kaprizov on the other wing for years to come, but they still cannot find a way to win any hockey games right now.
Yeah, Hockeytown USA not doing so hot right now. I want to see a little bit more from their 2 big D-man right now, too, and Matt Dumba and Jared Spurgeon, both guys really underperforming right now. But a team that doesn't look so great, and I won't lie, it does bring a smile to my face, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. They do not look like a team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year. Look, they lost, in my opinion, 2 pretty solid pieces. Andre Palat did a lot for them, and I think Ryan McDonough was a big piece for them as well. Right now, they're 1-2. and 11 goals against right now. Defensively, not looking great. I mean, they were simply outclassed by the New York Rangers. I don't think there's any debating that. And I do think the Rangers are a legit team, and that really does hurt me to say. But they got absolutely embarrassed, steamrolled, if you will, by the Pittsburgh Penguins by a final score of 6-2. Vasilevsky looks human. Can you believe we're saying that? I mean, this guy, when he is on, he is probably one of, if not the best goalies in the NHL. And he has just not been able to do it all by himself right now. And Kucherov, no goals right now. Not what you expect from a team that's still supposed to have Stanley Cup aspirations, if you will. But I think you're starting to see the decline of a dynasty. You see it with all of them. Your great Washington Capitals, the Penguins, the Kings, the Blackhawks. You see them start to head down in the wrong direction, and I think this season might be the first step for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on Tampa just because they still have good pieces. It's only going to be a matter of time before Kucherov finds his game again. If Steven Stamkos can stay healthy, you still got Braden Point, Killorn, guys like that, Hedman on the back end, and Vasilevsky. He's still one of the best goalies in the league. So we're going to take some hot takes out of the hot takery now. We're going to do some bold predictions early in the season. Tim, I'm going to bring it back to you. What is your boldest prediction that you're taking out right now?
You guys know me pretty well.
I'd say so.
And the last time we talked about the Calgary Flames,
My favorite team from last year.
they did not help you out at all. Let's be honest there.
We had a blast.
We had a great time. We knew that Calgary was not going to do well. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Don't do it, Tim.
I think the Calgary Flames are going to the Western Conference Final. And I think they could win the Western Conference Final, too. I know. What did you just say, Tim? Are you kidding me?
I don't know you anymore.
I don't know myself anymore after saying this. But when you look at what we have always talked about when it comes to the Flames, was they had to blow up the core and retool it in a way that would play to their style. They did just that. They got rid of Gaudreau. They got rid of Tkachuk. They somehow got rid of Sean Monahan's contract, which that was pretty impressive to say the least. And you bring in guys like Nazem Kadri, Mackenzie Weegar, and Jonathan Huberdeau, and they fit in perfectly. I think Huberdeau has to pick it up a little bit right now. Nazem Kadri looks like a perfect fit on that team right now. He's loving life. I don't think he's going to be able to put up the season that he had last season, but he's playing the exact style that Darryl Sutter wants to play. And I think defensively, they were in a couple shootout games, but they beat the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers, who a lot of people think that could be the Western Conference matchup this season. And you're looking at Mackenzie Weegar. To me, he's one of my favorites. I love the way he plays. He's done a great job defensively. And, this team is really heating up. They're on fire right now. Get it? Because they're Flames. But nonetheless, you look at this team, and there's promise. Something that I don't think Calgary has had in a long time.
I mean, yeah, we mentioned that, they need to do a retool or just kind of blow it up to finally do something productive. And they kind of did it in the right way. I cannot believe that you said that, though. It really hurts my feelings as, so I thought I could trust you. But, Jacob, you're not going to want to ever talk to me again after my take. And that is, you asked for bold. This take right here is not just hot. It's global warming kind of hot. The Capitals, the Washington Capitals, will get Connor Bedard with the first overall pick in the 2023 draft. And here's why. They look terrible right now. They look absolutely terrible. They have no defensive structure whatsoever. They have no deep pair that looks great. Darcy Kemper still looks like he's on a Stanley Cup hangover. And a lot of people, when at the time of that signing, thought that this would happen. And that's exactly what's happening. They have no scoring depth. When Eric Gustafson and Nick Dowd are in your top 5 for scoring on your team, that's kind of a problem. Specifically, Eric Gustafson. He should not be on the top 5 on anything except for top 5 players that need to get out of the league. Alex Ovechkin, the supposed greatest goal scorer of all time by your standards, has just 1 goal in the season. That came tonight during this recording. At this point, it's not going to get any easier for the Capitals. They're in the Metro Division. It's the toughest division in the league. We say it all the time. It's very tough to win in that league. And with such a rough start, at this point, your team's so old, you have a terrible prospect pool. Just blow it up and start going for the future. Get yourself a nice little Connor Bedard. Obviously, the Flyers fans might be a little upset about that, but there's something to look forward to, Cheris.
I'm going to agree with Tim more because, at least his take is probably a little more reasonable than yours, Josh. So that's just me. And the ice is melting right now because of these bold predictions, and we will see which storylines actually come true. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Penn State Sports Night. For Tim Rogers and Josh Bartosik, I'm Jacob Cheris, and have a good night.
Hey everybody! Thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.